not tough. And I know how I look. I know what you're thinking. Like, I look like a security guard at an Evanescence concert. You see it. I'm like, no moshing, sir. My immortal is a ballad. Relax. But I'm not tough. I'm not tough. I've never been in a fight in my life. Never been in a fight. And there's some good things about being in a fight, right? Like, if you're in a fight, you know how good you are in a fight. Like, I have no idea. And like 34 is a real weird age to get choked out in an Applebee's parking lot for the first time. For the first time. I'm not trying to experience that. I'm just like a nice guy, I don't know. I'm too nice to be a rapper, I found out. I tried that for a little bit, tried to be a rapper, you know? Turns out being like a loyal friend and a good listener doesn't translate to hot bars. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not really cool. Like, to be a rapper, you really gotta believe the shit you're saying. You know, you gotta be confident, you gotta be tough. Like, I couldn't imagine myself in a cypher, you know? Like, you guys know what a cypher is? Like, they drop a beat, right? It's like a battle. You gotta go in there, you gotta show you're the best rapper, right? So like, picture me in a cypher, right? The beat drops, number one guy comes up, he's like, I'm the best rapper, nobody could touch me. Second rapper steps up, I'm the best rapper, nobody can mess with me. Third rapper steps up, I'm the best rapper, nobody can step to me. Then I step up and I'm like, you guys, that was fantastic. You guys killed that shit, oh my God. The talent in this room, you guys should form a supergroup like the Wu-Tang. You guys are wonderful rappers. Mach 9, when you talked about robbing that gas station, I felt like I was there. Your wordplay, I swear to God. I'm trying to lose some weight, guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making resolutions I'm trying to stick to. I'm trying to lose weight. It's not easy to lose weight. I try, you know, it's like all the things that are out there are supposed to motivate you just like never work on me for some reason. All these documentaries out there, all these documentaries on Netflix, they always say the same thing, you know? It's always like, if you drink soda every day, it's like being a heroin addict. And it's not. Like, no, it's not. I don't know anybody who's ever lost their entire family and their job because they drank too much cherry Pepsi. Like, let's dial it back. That's not how I'm motivated. Doesn't work on me. Some people try to motivate you with their motivation. You know these people? Like, they're on Instagram, like they got their shit together and they're trying to help you get your shit together. Like, you guys know this guy, David Goggins? Have you ever heard of David Goggins? He's like ex-Marine, ultra-marathon runner. He posts videos like running and jogging. I'm like, you lost me already. Talking and running? Come on. But he posts, I follow just see what he's up to, you know? He posted a picture the other day. It was when he was, you know, a little heavier, had his shirt off, and the caption was like, in this picture, I'm smiling. What you don't know is every day was a prison. I hated myself, I hated my body, I hated my family. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm bigger now than he was then, and I like myself. I don't think carbs are your issue, David. I don't think bread's the problem, buddy. I think you need therapy. That sounds pretty serious. It's hard being a fat guy on social media these days, you know? It is. It's like you know, you look pretty in shape. If you want to hike and you go post a picture of your hike on your Instagram, all the comments are going to be like, what a lovely view. Hope the family's well. As soon as I go on a hike and I post a picture of it, all the comments are like, keep it up. We're so proud of you. Finally doing something about it. Fucking assholes. It's tough, man, tough. How you guys feel about the recreational weed? You guys like this recreational weed? How you feel about that, yeah? That's why you moved to Arizona, damn. You know, I was waiting for it for so long. I was so excited they made it recreational, and I found out I never needed to be this high. This is too much. Take it away. Oh my God, take it away. It's dangerous, man. I shouldn't have this much access to it, you know? And like I said, I'm fat, you know, so I go to the dispensary, I'm buying the good stuff. I got the brownies, the cookies. I'm at home like half hungry, half bored. Next thing I know, I'm watching Lord of the Rings. I know what the elves are talking about. This shit is intense. And I'm not like one of those productive stoners. You guys know the productive stoners? You know those guys like CEOs, they smoke weed, like Yeah, I've never been that person. That's not me, you know? I got friends that can smoke weed, they can start a podcast and do their taxes. I get high, I'm on my couch like, my teeth are bones. I'm just a skeleton with skin. Like, I'm fucking useless when I smoke weed. I'm no good, you know? It's too much, man. Can't be high like this all the time. And it's like the good thing about weed, right? It's supposed to like take all your problems away, right? Like weed's supposed to take your problems away. You don't care about anything, but there's some stuff that maybe I should care about a little more. Like I was 6 years without a car. For real, man. Like my old car broke down, I would just get high and just be like, the bus is pretty dope. The bus is a good time. You telling me I just get high and you just chauffeur me around town? I'll take the annual pass. It's fantastic, yeah. Oh my God. I don't know anything about politics, guys. I get real, like when people talk about politics, I'm like, oh God, I just shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about at all. You know, I don't know anything. Like right now, Russia is invading Ukraine. I don't know why they're there. I don't know what they're doing. And you're probably thinking like, you have a phone, you could just Google it. But here's the thing, I won't. Like I tried, I just know myself. I try to, you know, I have ADHD though, that's the problem, you know? So like for me, it's like, I go to search something, I never like end up where I started, you know? Like my Google search is like, why is Russia invading? Who played the Joker in the new battle? Chicken sandwiches near me. It's just, I go to look it up, but I never get there. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? I'll try. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about politics. The other day it was President's Day. I asked my friend, I was like, who's your favorite president? And he was like, Polk is my favorite president. He was responsible for the largest land expansion in the Southwest. I was like, oh no, sorry. I must have worded that wrong. I mean, like, who's your favorite president just like based on the vibe, I guess? You know, like who'd be fun at a party? I don't know. Shit. You got all serious on me. Isn't it weird that the White House used to just be a house? You guys ever think about that? The White House used to just be a house. That's amazing. I think that was correct. You know what I mean? It's like, you're pissed off at the president, you can just go over there at 2 a.m. and just paint a dick on his wall? Like, then you have to watch him wipe it off in the morning. You're like, oh yeah. That's so sick. I love that, you know? A bill passes you don't like, you're like, what the fuck is this? Hey, Jefferson! Jefferson, what the fuck is this? Honey, I'm gonna go talk to Jefferson real quick. Jefferson! Hey, Jeff, T-Jeff! T-Jeff, come on, I just want to talk, buddy. I just want to talk. Oh, man. That's why I don't know about politics. You know, that's the kind of things that I think about on politics. Me and my girlfriend just took our relationship to the next level, guys. Thank you, yeah. We got a Costco membership. So, you know, pretty serious. Costco's incredible, man. Oh, my God. And I didn't nobody tell me about Costco sooner. I didn't think I was even allowed to be in there. It's like, this place is great. A while ago, people were saying, we got to make America great again. We got to make America great again. I don't think any of those people have ever been to Costco. We're doing great. Gotta tell you. Costco's amazing, man. I just bought a pack of toilet paper I'm gonna be wiping my ass with in 2025. Like, we are. You couldn't find toilet paper in the beginning of the pandemic. Now I can't get rid of it fast enough. You know what I mean? I'm giving it away. Like, I don't know another country you can go buy 7 pounds of Captain Crunch and a kayak in the same place. It's incredible. Go get free samples. They just give you a whole burger. You're just like, oh my God, I just ate. But yeah, I'll take it. It's great. We are trying to shop more, though. We're trying to go to shop more, grocery shop, because we're trying to save some money. You know, we like to go out to eat. Going out to eat is fun, but we spend too much money on it. So we said, let's start saving some money. Let's start cooking at home. Next time we have a craving, let's go to the store. Let's get the ingredients. Let's cook it at home. So we both agreed taco night, right? Everyone loves taco night. We go to the store. We get the meat. We get the shell. We get the cheese. $53. $53 for one taco night. The next morning for breakfast, we went to get Filiberto's burritos. We're like, what the fuck is this? $53 for one taco night? Do you know how much Taco Bell you can buy for $53? I feel like you go to Taco Bell right now, you give them $50, they just give you the keys. This is your Taco Bell now, live Mas. Enjoy that. Oh man, I'm getting older now, guys. I'm getting a little older, I'm 34, you know. Thank you. Who here is not 30 yet? So people, right? Yeah. Before you're 30, it's so scary, right? Like you don't know, like you're like, oh my God, 30 is such a big deal. Like 30 kind of feels like Y2K. It's like, what's gonna happen? We're all gonna die. And then it gets here and you're just like, oh, we're good. Okay, cool. It's fine, we're good. 30 is great, I like it. But the thing about being 30 is like you just stop caring about being cool. Like no cool shit happens anymore. It's just done, you know? It just is, it's just done. You don't care. You stop trying to be cool, you don't do anything cool anymore. It's just, you're just boring, old. Like the coolest thing I do is like I have asthma, but I buy my inhalers off of Craigslist. Pretty cool. Pretty risky. It makes me feel so alive. I meet a guy in a parking lot, you know, and give him the cash. I take a puff in front of him to prove I'm not a cop. You know what I mean? It's the kind of transactions I'm making. The thing about being older too is like you just start to get pissed off at like little things. It starts to become the little things, you know? Like arguments I can let go of. It's just like small things now that bother me. Like I'm just sick of passwords. Do you guys just hate passwords? Fucking hate passwords, man. I'm tired of them. There's so many passwords for so many different sites. I never remember which password I use for which site. I go to make a new password and they're like, we're sorry. Your password's not strong enough. Oh, I'm sorry, Pinterest. Is my password not strong enough for you, Pinterest? Is someone gonna log in as me and steal my recipe for blueberry scones? Like, what's with all this safety? And I get it for some sites, you know? Like Bank of America, I'll give you a capital letter, I'll give you a symbol. But I don't need Bank of America level security when I'm just trying to make Star Wars shaped cupcakes. That's all I'm trying to say. Keep it simple, you know? And like, here's the deal. Like, the password's gonna be Ruben G111. Or I'm just gonna go get Oreos, you know? It's a very one-sided transaction. I don't need you as bad as you need me, Pinterest. Let's relax a little bit. Relax. Feels like COVID's feels like we kind of made it through, right? It feels like we're good, I don't know. It was tough, man. 2020 is such a weird year. It's always gonna go down in history in my head as like this really strange year. Like, I don't know, there's ever been another year we just celebrated just making it through, you know? Like if you were to stand up at your job and be like, we made it through 1993, they'd be like, sit down, you psychopath, what is wrong with you? We were just so happy to get through the year, you know? 2020, we made it. United. Oh man, it was tough, man, it was tough. It was like, we're good now, you know? Like, but I saw a mask on the ground the other day, and here's the thing, it was the coolest mask I'd ever seen. It was like dark blue with baby blue off tints. It had adjustable straps. It had a Nike check. Like, I kind of wanted it. But it's like if you had to list the top 10 most hazardous things to do in a global pandemic, picking up someone else's discarded ground mask is like easily in the top 5. Yeah, you know? I feel like I would have grabbed the mask guy from the CDC, would have jumped out and been like, take that man to jail. He doesn't belong in society. Get him out of here. We played a bunch of games during COVID, man. You played all the games you had in your house, every board game you could find. Played Monopoly twice. Who does that? So you can only play Monopoly in your life like 4 times total until you're like, I'm never playing that game ever again. We had to go back to old games. We had to get creative, you know, like old games from like our childhood. Like we had to go back to those games you would play in school, the little paper games. Remember the one you would like fold up 6 times? And they'd be like, you're a piece of shit. And you're like, oh, cool, thanks, yeah, that's great. We played another game from our childhood. You guys remember the game MASH? Yeah! MASH? Oh my God, yeah. For those of you who don't know, MASH is a game where you write down a set of rules, right? And it tells you how your life's gonna turn out. Like it might say, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna drive a Porsche, you're gonna live in a mansion. And I found out, super depressing when you're in your 30s. Do not play MASH above the age of 30. Holy shit. I was like, this isn't even close to what I'm up to. This is scary. We had to lower our standards to get through 1 round of this game, I swear to God. My friend's like, all right, Ruben, looks like you're gonna be a janitor. You're gonna ride a skateboard to work. And you live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I I was like, Jesus Christ, I have my own place in this economy? Hell yeah. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Ruben Gonzalez.
I really like crackers, you guys. Like Ritz crackers, to be specific. You know, I'm not one of those saltine basic bitches. You know, I like a little flavor in my life. No, but I have a serious problem. Like, I'll eat a whole sleeve before 9 a.m. any day of the week. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'll put them with pretty much anything. Cereal, soup, Cocoa Puffs, other crackers. I don't give a damn. You know, I really love Ritz crackers, guys. No, I was actually thinking about it one day, and I was like, man, who created Ritz crackers? Because, like, whoever did had to make, like, some other dope snacks, right? Turns out, just some regular white dude named Tom Reese. All he ever did was make Ritz, guys. Just a cracker making crackers, guys. That is it. That is absolutely it. Speaking of crackers, I love my girlfriend's actually in attendance tonight. That's right, guys. I'm dating a white woman, my sour cream queen, my mayo missus. That's right. The white beneath my wings, if you will. No, I love my girl, though, because she put me onto a lot of different stuff. Like, whenever we first started dating, we did something called Self-Care Sundays, right? Basically, what it was like we get pedicures, manicures, stuff to make me feel like a bad bitch, you know? Yeah. Because self-care is important. But for real, you know, she really did. And I'll be honest, guys, I was kind of jealous, you know? Because, like, all my stuff was, like, geared towards men. It'd be, like, Blacked Out and sponsored by Nicolas Cage and Vin Diesel, you know? Stupid shit, like, on the commercials, like, Dirt Off. Gone in 60 seconds. Try our new 3-in-1. Face wash, body wash, tire cleaner. It's like, the fuck? Shit don't make no sense. Are you furious you can't wash your balls fast enough? Like, no. Furious I can scrub my dashboard with the same shit I scrub my ass with. What the fuck is going on, man? It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. For our anniversary recently, she did something really special for me, you guys. She actually introduced me to, like, a new side of myself, if I can go that far. So she calls me up. She's like, hey, get home right now. I got something special planned for you. I'm like, all right, tight. I get home, rose petals leading up the stairs. That's where I got stairs in Phoenix. Good money. So she has rose petals leading up the stairs. Lights are dim, right? I go up the stairs, open up the door. There she is. Sexy lingerie, hair's done, makeup done, immaculate, right? But I hear the music. I'm like, wait a second. I know this song. And he starts singing, and he goes, baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low. Play the music. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. Yeah, a couple of y'all know that shit. I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? How the fuck did you know Josh Turner was #1 on my Spotify? How did you know? No, it was actually kind of tight, though, because she was wearing a cowboy hat. So after that, I put the cowboy hat on, and we just two-step butt naked for the rest of the night. It was vibes. It was vibes. Yeah, it was a good time. No, but, like, keeping it 100, guys, like, the relationship kind of got off to a little bit of a rocky start, you know? Because, like, the first time we went out, one of the people we went out with hit me with the N-word. It was a white girl. Yeah. And it was the N-word with a hard R. Right. Yeah. I was like, damn, bitch. She said she was from Germany, but I'm like, no, you said that. Said that like you from Alabama. I don't know. You're a little comfortable. A little too comfortable. But no, like it wasn't that bad of a situation. You know, like we were in the car listening to Drake. Everybody in the car was white except for me and the Uber driver, right? It's cool, right? Like it's cool. Well, honestly, it was Niggas in Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye West, right? So we all singing. Of course, I got some niggas in Paris. You know what I'm saying? The Uber driver, he's got a couple niggas in Paris. You know what I'm saying? We going gorillas, as we do, you know. And then, to my surprise, the white girl in front of me also had some niggas in Paris. Yeah. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but at that point, I was contractually obligated to punch that bitch. But I didn't want to, you know, like, I want to do that. That's terrible. I was sitting behind her. I fucked my shoulder up. But anyways, I was thinking about it, guys. I was like, you know what? It's just not the right thing to do, right? It's not the right thing to do. So I let it go. Uber driver took care of the whole thing, right? But I was like, yo, this doesn't feel right with me. You know, it doesn't sit right. So what I ended up doing was I went home, and if you guys go on YouTube, you can find like these 5 to 8 minute clips of like military war veterans coming home and surprising their families, right? Exactly. Very tear-jerking videos, very heartfelt, emotional videos. And the thing about these videos is that in every single one, you see at least one white person crying. So I just put that on repeat. So I could watch white people cry for 5 to 8 minutes on a loop. Yeah, because white tears brought me joy that night. Yeah. I've kind of changed my perspective on a few things. Politics, to be specific. You know, we've kind of touched on politics tonight, but one thing that nobody ever talks about is wanting a happy president. That's something I definitely want. Because think about it, the last time we had a happy president, gas was only $1.14, you guys. Yeah, that was whenever Bill Clinton was getting that Jiffy Lube. Yep. And we never talk about the real hero in that situation. Come on, let me hear it. Monica Lewinsky, guys, come on, what? Yes. She deserves a Purple Heart for all the wrinkles she had to navigate. Guys, she navigated that wrinkly dick like a topographical map, all right? It doesn't get talked about enough. She guzzled that gooseneck, you know why? So our cars can guzzle that gas. She kept this tank on E, so our tanks don't have to be. I don't know. I'm just saying, she made the sacrifice of a true motherfucking American. You know what I'm saying? If we're not out here for cheap gas and blowjobs, what the fuck are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Nah. One fun thing about my relationship is that it's kind of changed me a little bit. You know, not too much, but just enough, right? And okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I have a pre-order on Starbucks now. You know, I downloaded the app. It's easy, you know. I just go in, I tab my orders. I see my vegan Cine Dolce latte. Yeah, extra classic venti, please. Yeah, and I mean, it's at my house. It's streamlined and efficient. That's something else, bro. I wasn't saying shit like streamlined and efficient before I was dating a white woman. You know, expanding the vernacular, if you will. Speaking of capitalism, I've had a hard time trusting Christians lately. I mean, honestly, they say stuff like, drink the blood of Christ, consume the body of Christ. But as soon as I want to eat a little last, and I'm the bad guy? Like, goddamn. Y'all ain't pay attention in anatomy class or what? No, it is always a good time with my lady. I always enjoy, you know, the events that we get to partake in. You know, it does get a little nasty from time to time. You know, it does get a little dirty, and you know, sometimes if I'm trying to get her in the mood, I'll play a little music. You know, so the first time I was like, all right, I already know what's up. I got it, right? She walked in the room, Lose Yourself by Eminem was playing. I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, yeah. She knew the vibes, Yeah, yeah. Nickelback, Red Hot Chili Peppers, all that, baby, we in there. Hell yeah. No, being completely honest, guys, my voice has always been this deep. Deep as shit, yeah, deep as hell, yeah. Like as far back as I can remember. I was in this chat room, I was like 13 years old, right? I was talking to this bad bitch. I could tell she was bad as fuck just by her username. You know, it was Sexy Unicorn 6973. Yeah. But it didn't have any of the vowels. I was like, oh, this bitch sophisticated. Goddamn. No, but we started talking and we exchanged phone numbers, right? And she tells me, she's like, hey, don't call after 4 o'clock. I'm like, all right, no problem. But one day I fuck up and I call after 4 o'clock. Oh no was right. Yeah, she didn't answer, guys. Her dad answered. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know what happens whenever you call a grown man and ask to speak to his 13-year-old daughter, and you're only 13 years old, but you sound like a grown man. I didn't know he was gonna call the cops on me, you guys. I was at a loss for words because the cops showed up at my door, banging on the door like, open up, pervert. And I'm sitting on the other side, scared and confused, like, My mom's not home right now. I would get in so much trouble if I answered the door. To quote her directly, she said she would beat the black off of my ass. And I'm terrified, sir. I'm terrified. No, but like for real, you know, my voice put me in some really strange situations. Like, to the point to where like I kind of had to start talking dirty a little early, you know? So I did, you know, like, all right. So I had this girl call me, she's like, hey, tell me what to do with my hands. I'm like, all right, I want you to take your left hand and reach low, low, a little bit lower. And her bottom drawer is gonna be some Capri Suns. Yeah. I'll take your other hand and reach up a little higher, yeah. And grab those Chips Ahoy cookies on top of the fridge. Yeah. Now, yeah, just move that to the side right there. Yeah. You see them Hey Arnold paper plates? Yeah. Grab those and the SpongeBob napkins and let's get nasty. Trying to get freaky before Dragon Tail starts, you know what I'm saying? No, but for real, man, my voice has always put me in like the strangest situations, you know, the strangest situations. But I started to use it to my advantage, like later on in life, you know. I remember I got written up in school. I was in like the 4th or 5th grade, right? I got written up and they were like, all right, we're calling your parents as soon as you get home. Little did they know, my parents weren't gonna be home. But deep voice Devontae was. Oh yeah. Yeah, so they'd call and be like, why wasn't Devontae at school today? And I'd answer and I'd be like, his mom wouldn't give him his favorite Hot Wheel. And he said it makes his tummy hurt when his eggs are cold. So he can't come to school today. But then she fucked me up because then she started asking me questions that like only adults know, you know? She'd be like, okay, Mr. Easby, well, what's your address? I'd be like, the second house on Robinson Street. It was just bad, guys, just bad. But like another benefit is just like, you know, having a deep voice like this, having to go through puberty. You know, the first time I ever experienced puberty, I shocked my damn self, you know. Because it wasn't a gradual process. It was legitimately overnight, you know. I went to sleep sounding like this. And I woke up sounding like this. My stepmom and my little brothers were in the living room, and I woke up in the middle of the night. They were in there watching Treasure Planet. I'm like, all right, you know, I wake up and like my throat is itchy. And I walk out, and I'm getting ready to say something. My stepmom goes, hey, what are you doing up? What's wrong? And I was like, something's wrong with my throat. But now, like, one last thing, guys, is kind of getting candid. I feel like we're friends here, so I can say this. I feel like we've never had a real nigga in the White House. I mean, okay, we've had, like, Barack Obama, you know, like Condoleezza Rice. Niggas, you know, like, but I don't know that I would classify them as like real niggas, you know? To me, Obama, he more like a nig, All right, y'all been dope. My name's been Devontae. Give it up for your host, Ray Respect.